Judas and the Black Messiah is a story about control, identity, and betrayal told through two people moving in completely different directions. On one side, there's Fred Hampton, a man building something bigger than himself. On the other, there's William O'Neill, a man trying to survive by becoming whoever he needs to be. The title itself already tells us how this ends. Like the biblical Judas, betrayal isn't just part of the story, it is the story. The film begins with O'Neill pretending to be a federal officer to steal a car. He carries himself with confidence, using authority as a disguise, and for a moment it works. But the illusion doesn't last long, and he's quickly arrested. This moment sets the tone for who he is, before the FBI ever gets involved. He's not driven by a cause or a belief system. He's driven by opportunity and survival, willing to shift identities whenever it benefits him. At the police station, he meets Roy Mitchell, who offers him a deal that changes everything. Instead of prison, O'Neill can walk free if he agrees to infiltrate the Black Panther Party. The choice is framed as simple, but it immediately traps him in something much bigger than he understands. This opening is all about identity as performance. O'Neill starts the film wearing a fake badge, pretending to have power. That image becomes symbolic of his entire journey. He will spend the rest of the film pretending, but each role he takes pulls him further away from any real sense of self. The deal with the FBI also introduces the theme of control. O'Neill thinks he's choosing freedom, but in reality, he's stepping into a situation where every choice will be controlled by someone else. O'Neill is sent into the Black Panther Party, where he meets Fred Hampton for the first time. Hampton doesn't need to pretend or perform. He speaks clearly, directly, and with purpose. People listen to him because they believe in what he's saying. This contrast is immediate and important. O'Neill blends in by adapting, while Hampton stands out by being consistent. O'Neill begins by observing and reporting back to Mitchell. At this stage, his involvement feels distant. He's watching more than participating. This scene introduces two different kinds of power. O'Neill's power comes from deception and access. He can move between spaces because no one fully sees him. Hampton's power comes from belief and connection. He builds trust, which makes him far more influential. The film begins to suggest that the system isn't afraid of violence as much as it's afraid of unity and influence. We begin to see what the Panthers are actually doing on a daily basis. They run the Free Breakfast for Children program, organize within the community, and provide support to people who have been ignored. Hampton expands this further by forming alliances with groups like the Young Lords and the Young Patriots organization, creating what becomes known as the Rainbow Coalition. These moments are important. They show the real work behind the movement, which is about building rather than destroying. The film makes it clear that the real threat isn't weapons or violence, but unity across different groups. The breakfast program is symbolic because it's simple and human. Feeding children shouldn't be controversial, yet it becomes part of a larger political struggle. The Rainbow Coalition represents something even more dangerous to those in power. It breaks down divisions that systems rely on to maintain control, showing what could happen if people work together instead of being separated. As time passes, O'Neill gains Hampton's trust and becomes more involved in the organization. He's no longer just observing. He's participating, contributing, and forming real connections with the people around him. At the same time, he continues to meet with Mitchell, providing information and receiving money in return. The deeper he goes, the harder it becomes to separate his two roles. The lines begin to blur, but he never fully commits to either side. This part of the film focuses on internal conflict. O'Neill is living two lives that can't exist together forever. The money he receives becomes symbolic of his situation. It's not just a reward. It's a reminder that every action he takes is being bought. The more he accepts, the more trapped he becomes. His identity becomes unstable because it's constantly shifting depending on who he's with. Hampton's relationship with Deborah Johnson develops in a simple and natural way. Their conversations reveal a more personal side of him, one that isn't focused on speeches or leadership, but on the future and what he hopes to build. When Deborah becomes pregnant, it adds another layer to Hampton's motivation. This isn't just about a movement anymore. It's about the world he wants his child to grow up in. Deborah represents the future in a very direct way. Her pregnancy turns Hampton's ideas into something personal and immediate. It grounds his beliefs in real life, showing that his fight is not abstract. It's about creating a better future for actual people. This also increases the emotional weight of everything that follows, because we understand what's at stake beyond politics. Hampton is arrested for a minor charge involving stolen ice cream bars. The charge itself feels insignificant, but the impact isn't. Removing him from the streets disrupts the movement and creates space for others to step in. During this time, O'Neill is promoted to security captain. His position gives him more responsibility and more access, placing him even closer to the center of the organization. This moment shows how systems can use small legal issues to achieve larger goals. The crime isn't the point. The removal is. Hampton's absence weakens the movement, even if only temporarily. O'Neill's rise at the same time is symbolic of how infiltration works. The closer he gets to leadership, the more damage he can do. The Panther office is attacked by police, leading to a violent shootout. O'Neill escapes during the chaos, leaving others behind as the building is destroyed. After this, he tries to quit working with the FBI. He's shaken and realizes how dangerous the situation has become. Mitchell refuses, reminding him that he has no real choice. This scene removes the illusion that O'Neill is in control. Up to this point, it could seem like he's making decisions for himself, but now it becomes clear that he's trapped. The violence forces him to confront the reality of what he's involved in. The fire and destruction symbolize the collapse of the idea that he can stay neutral or unaffected. Hampton is released from prison and immediately returns to his work. He reconnects with Deborah and continues organizing, despite knowing the risks. There's no hesitation in his actions. He understands the danger, but he does not step back. Hampton's return highlights his commitment. He's fully aware of what could happen, yet he continues. This contrasts with O'Neill, who's constantly trying to protect himself. The film positions these two approaches side by side, asking what it means to truly stand for something. Jimmy Palmer dies under suspicious circumstances, which increases tension within the group. In response, Jake Winters retaliates violently against the police and is killed. The situation begins to spiral, with each act leading to another. This sequence shows how quickly violence can escalate. One death leads to another, creating a chain reaction that becomes difficult to stop. It also shows different responses within the movement. Some focus on building and organizing, while others respond with force. The film doesn't simplify this. It shows the complexity and consequences of both approaches. J. Edgar Hoover gives the order to neutralize Hampton. The word itself is distant and controlled, hiding the reality of what's being planned. Mitchell pressures O'Neill to help carry this out, using fear and manipulation to keep him in line. The use of the word neutralize is important. It removes emotion and makes the act sound clinical. This reflects how systems justify their actions by changing the language around them. It allows people to distance themselves from the consequences. At a gathering, Hampton is offered money to flee but refuses, choosing instead to invest it into building a clinic. O'Neill, following orders, drugs Hampton's drink. This is the moment where everything becomes irreversible. O'Neill's action is simple, but the outcome isn't. Hampton's decision to stay and continue building reinforces who he is. O'Neill's decision shows the opposite. He chooses survival, even if it means killing someone else. Police raid Hampton's apartment while he's unconscious. The attack is fast and brutal. Hampton is killed in his bed, unable to defend himself. Deborah is arrested, and the rest of the Panthers are shot or injured. This scene isn't about a fair fight. It's about control. Hampton's death is planned and executed in a way that removes any chance of resistance. The setting of the bed is symbolic. It's a place of rest and safety, turned into a place of violence. It shows that there was no real escape from what was coming. O'Neill meets Mitchell again and is rewarded with money and a gas station. He tries to walk away but ultimately accepts what's given to him. The reward feels empty, lacking any sense of achievement or relief. O'Neill survives, but the cost is clear. What he gains materially doesn't match what he loses internally. The gas station represents stability, but also isolation. He's left alone with the consequences of his actions, without any real sense of purpose. The film ends with real footage of Hampton's speeches and funeral, along with an interview with O'Neill years later. We learn that O'Neill eventually took his own life. The final scenes emphasize that while people can be killed, their ideas can live forever. O'Neill's ending shows the long-term impact of betrayal. He avoided prison, but he couldn't escape what he had done. Judas and the Black Messiah isn't just about what happened. It's about why it happened and what it means. It explores the difference between surviving and standing for something, showing how one person tried to build a future while another tried to escape his present. In the end, the film suggests that survival without purpose can feel just as empty as loss, while ideas built on belief can outlast the people who started them. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.